It begins. Let's talk about the brand new Superman movie, as this is the first film kicking off the DCU after Creature Commandos is the first project. And with this film, it is directed and written by James Gunn. And I got to say, this is a super great movie. With this film, it does feel like a love letter to Superman fans. You can tell that it takes a lot of inspiration from past Superman media, from the animated shows, the comics of course, and past movies. We get David Corenswet in the role as Superman, and he was perfect in the role. We see his strength, we see him being vulnerable, but we just see him being Superman. We see him doing the things that Superman does, and I do think he perfectly portrayed the character. And with David Corenswet's Clark Kent, it was very interesting. We don't really see much of Clark in this. We mostly see Superman, but just how he portrayed Clark out in public was kind of similar to Christopher Reeve's Clark. Being a bit nerdy, but yeah, I think it worked for this, and I would have loved to explore more of that with David. We do get Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and she was great in the role. She had great dynamics, great chemistry with David. Rachel's Lois Lane, she was a standout in this. She was fierce. She is pretty much a great reporter. And like I mentioned, Lois and Superman in this, they had great chemistry with one another. As we also do get Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. He hated Superman with a passion. I do wonder for his portrayal of Lex Luthor if Nicholas Hoult channeled his anger for not getting the role of Superman or Batman. And while Nicholas Hoult was a menace, he did give a powerful performance as Lex Luthor, going toe-to-toe with Superman. His Lex definitely stood out from past Lexes in other media, and I do think that he did a great job portraying Lex, portraying this version of Lex. The dude was a hater, but he was a genius. But also we do get Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, Anthony Kurgan as Metamorpho, and Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern. To which they played the Justice Gang, in which they were great in their roles, great introduction to the characters. And I got to say, with them, with the other cast members, it all stood out. They stood out in their roles, whether it was Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, Martha, and Jonathan Kent. I do believe that the cast from the main characters to the side characters were just amazing in their roles. And with how this film is, this is just a great Superman story. Seeing Superman doing the right thing, but as we see him struggle, we see him be vulnerable, and I do believe that the story explored that very well. I do believe that David portrayed that very well, because in this, it does have great Superman action, a lot of great Superman moments of him saving the day, spreading hope, because that's what Superman is all about. This film just gets the character right, and I am excited that it does that. James Gunn did a great job writing the character in this film. With this film, we also do get Krypto, the super dog, and Krypto is such a good boy. How he was in the film, he was the standout, he stole the show, and was just hilarious. And I will say that this film pretty much kicks off the film side of the DCU in a big way. There's no origin story, we pretty much get right into it, and I think that is a very interesting choice. Some minor flaws with the film is that I do wish it kind of had more time with the Daily Planet side, because the scenes that we got of the Daily Planet was very interesting, very intriguing, getting more of Lois Lane, getting more of Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, Cat Grant, and Ron Trope. I do think that it could have spent a little bit more time with that, but at the same time with this film, there's a lot going on. And while I do think it does that very well, I will admit there are some parts I found a bit more interesting than other parts. And I will also say that there are some parts that didn't really need humor. But with how this film is, I do think that this is a great Superman film for the modern times. A great reintroduction to those who don't know Superman. Pretty much just a great reboot that kicks off this DCU, well, from the film side of it. Superman is a very important character, and I am glad that James Gunn understood that. I am glad that David Corenswet understands that. And with this film, it shows how important he is. This film does do good at spreading hope, showing the ideology of Superman, and it just nails that. And with how the film is, from the score, the cinematography, I thought all that was amazing. I will admit some parts of the special effects could have been a bit better, but regardless of all that, this is just a great Superman film. This is pretty much the film that we need now. And I am glad that we are finally getting more Superman. And with what this film introduces, what this film sets up for with the DCU, I am excited to see where the DCU goes next. Overall, Superman is a very great Superman movie. It is a very great comic book film, and it is a great James Gunn film. With this film, I will say it is a must-watch. But have you seen the new Superman movie, or are you planning to watch it? Let me know in the comments below, and follow me for more.